So I wanted to share this video today. Just had some thoughts on my mind, and I really just wanted to talk about it and talk about why I love to be a social worker. Why, what does that mean? A lot of people say they're social workers. The social worker is uh, it's a way of thinking. It's a way of life. And with that comes how you live, your thought process, and how you treat other people as well. Um, One thing I love about being a social worker is having an opportunity to be able to help others see uh, life in a different perspective. To help people find solutions, to help them be solution focused rather than focus on problems and issues that they have in their lives. We're professionals when it comes to talking about, what problems we have, what issues we have. One thing about social work that I love, one thing that um, I feel like I'm very strong at is helping other people see, things from a different perspectives and finding solutions and not necessarily forgetting about the issues but helping them work through them and find ways to cope with them and deal with them. And um, that's a big thing about social work. Um, it's I work with DOC population who suffer from substance use disorder and mental illness. So most of them, have uh, co-occurring disorders, and like I said, and they have that criminal that background. So it's like a triple double. Um, it's a lot, and the type of person who deals with that population really, really, really have to think outside of the box. It's not, when they're in prison, it's a punitive mentality. You did X, Y, and Z wrong. Here's your write up. Go to the hole, serve your time, and then come out, and then that's that. So there's no learning um, in that process. These guys, they can do time. Um, it's nothing. You get guys in here. You do 5, 10, 15, even 30 years. We had one guy who did 30 years, and to do time is nothing. The thing I love about being a social worker is being able to to change that perspective and rather than say here's a write up. You did something bad, is to be able to say, you made a mistake. That a mistake is a mistake. It has absolutely nothing to do with who you are as a person. What can you do differently? How can we? What could you have done differently? Where can we go from here? Um, and just try to help them find a way to just move past it, and learn from their mistakes. Um, in this job, you can't take things personally. As difficult as it may be for some people, you just can't, because this isn't about you. This isn't about how what they did pissed you off. Um, when you're working with individuals with substance use disorders and mental illness, um, it's that. It's a substance use disorder and a mental illness. It's not something that they woke up one day and said they wanted to have. It's not something they wrote in their yearbook and said, "Hey, when I get older, I want to have a substance use disorder and a mental illness." It's not. It's a real issue that people need to address with real interventions and real approaches. Um, One of the things I've noticed, the number one thing when dealing with anybody in or out of this field is um, treat people with respect and dignity. Period. I don't care if you're black, white, Latino, purple, pink. If you have a criminal background, I don't care about your sexuality. If you treat people with respect and you're genuine about it, It's a great start in building that rapport with that person, as a therapist and a program director. Um, one of the biggest things, man, is really honestly is when guys come into our program is something as basic as introducing yourself, and I don't even identify to them that I'm a program director. Say my name's, Daniel, and I introduce myself and offer them some food and let them know, hey, if you need anything, stop me in the hallway, whatever the case is, and um, first impressions that's very true, man. First impressions are very important. Um, and that your first impression, the way you present yourself is huge, and these lasting effects, and that's how they will remember you. That's how they will remember, coming into that place. They will always associate how they felt with that place or with you. So it's very important, from the door, to treat that person with respect and dignity, and not as a DOC number or a diagnosis. Um, that's what I love about social work, and that's what being in the field for so long and social work has taught me. Um, so, another key thing, and I'll leave it here, is how you think about a person, whether or not you say it, will manifest itself in your behaviors and your actions towards them. And I see that a lot with different counselors in the field, different people in the field, uh, support staff, administrative staff, nurses. I see that. They don't even have to say, they don't have to tell their clients that they think that criminals are a piece of crap, or they think that addiction is a hoax and it's just your bad behavior, or because you didn't come to Jesus. I mean, they don't even have to say that. They can see it, um, in how that person interacts with them. So it's if you don't believe that mental illness and substance use disorders is a real thing, it will show. Um, if you think that because someone has a criminal background that they're a scumbag, it's going to show. Um, so it's important, this is for people who are in the field or want to be in the field. It's really, really important to understand why you're trying to get into the field. Um, you're not going to save anybody. You're not going to come in like a superhero and swoop in and you're going to save a bunch of people. It's just not the way it's going to happen. Um, you will impact people's lives. Um, Unfortunately, the statistics for people in recovery, it's unfortunately there's a high recidivism rate, but that doesn't matter if it's one or two. It's just know that it's rewarding when it happens. Um, the really important thing about being a social worker, what I have learned, on top of all the other things that I've spoke about, is to really understand the individual that you're dealing with, that you're working with, and that it is a collaborative relationship. This is not your treatment, and you know everything, and they know nothing. This is not how it works today. That's old school therapy. You shut up. You don't know what you're doing. I'm going to tell you what to do, and you're going to live happily ever after. Um, Today, there are evidence-based approaches, evidence-based therapies um, that work. And you have to be, well, you don't have to be, but I'm a big supporter that individuals are authors of their own lives and their own destiny, and I believe in self-determination, and although I may not like where they're going in their life, I have to respect that that's where they're at right now and meet them where they're at in their lives, and be able to offer them all that I can and all that they're asking, and I have to be okay with that because this isn't about me. So social work, like I said, I love it, but this isn't a field that just anyone should get into. Um, this is a field that you yourself need to make sure that you are ready to come in and you're ready to listen. That this isn't about you. If someone doesn't want to take your advice, you have to be okay with that. Um, you have to understand where these people are at. You have to understand. Um, so I just really wanted to talk a little bit about um, what I do, what I enjoy doing, what I love to do. Um, and that's pretty much it. Uh, Social work is it's very rewarding, and success um, comes in many different forms. It's not black or white. It's not all or none. Um, Success is different for everybody, um, and we need to respect. And we need to respect that. We need to respect when others feel like, hey, I I I had one beer rather than 10 today. That's a win. It's a win. It's a win for them. It's a success for them, um, and they're moving in the right direction. And that's where we're at today. Um, Thank everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.